Hello, Internet. As always, if you're watching this as a rerun, the countdown timer is about to come on the screen. Go ahead and fast forward that if you're watching this as a rerun. I keep that in. I do not clip it out because if I do, I will lose features. It's the live chat replay. Go ahead and fast forward that if you're watching this as a rerun. Captions, I want those to stay in. Those are features for you to use, and that's important. So we'll start the countdown timer now, and as always, I'll have a hot mic. And get your friends in here because it's going to be a spicy show. All right, we'll kick off some audio jams while we wait. Keep that in. I do not clip it. We will keep the audio jams going while we wait. Keeping it going. Welcome everyone. Welcome back to All Things YouTube. Hey, you know me. I'm Matt Haas. I'm the host of this show. This is the show where I talk about, not surprisingly, all things YouTube. Everything that's new and different on the platform, I will break it all down and not only tell you, I will show you. That's the important thing about this show, because a lot of these channels, they'll just yammer on and talk about things. Not me. I actually show you. I'm going to try something a little different. I found some royalty-free background music, so I think I'm going to put this in underneath my voice. You let me know how it is, and hopefully my audio is coming through okay. I have a new audio setup, bought a mixing board, the Rodecaster Pro. Yes, Sammy talked about it in the chat. He said, did I get it? Yes, I most certainly did, and I love it. So here, let me know if this works for you. It should just be barely audible. Put a little something underneath the track. Hope that sounds good. I hope so. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you don't like it. That way, if there's ever a little piece of silence, it'll be something nice for you to listen to. And this is Harris Heller's free music. He's got a whole music library at Alpha Gaming. It's called Stream Beats. If you look up Stream Beats on the Googles, you can download these background tracks. It's just kind of looping background tracks. He has the exclusive rights to it. He has granted the world free public use for public or private, or for commercial or private use. And yeah, so I'm giving it a shot. And he has them all registered with every streaming service, so they'll know it's his, and they'll know not to copyright claim you, or heaven forbid, copyright strike you. All right, let's see who's here. We said hello to Studio Geek. Welcome back. I've been seeing you all over the interwebs today. Busy guy. Ufeda, welcome. Jim Bashirs is here. And Harneal Media. That's my friend, Mr. Steve Nealon. Welcome. Yeah, I flashed up a fun graphic. If you type the word of a food emoji and prefix it with an exclamation mark, the Stream Elements bot will give you a fun, snarky reply. I think that's kind of fun. So if you want to play along with that, you can entertain yourselves in the chat room while I'm delivering awesome content about YouTube. Don't forget, I have a Facebook page and group. Go ahead and join the group. Just search for this term on the Facebooks. That's right. Facebook has a group about YouTube. And there's a page. I'm not doing much with the page, but you can go ahead and like the page too if you so desire. And speaking of the Stream Elements bot, if you tip, this is a way you can throw a tip my direction, credit cards or PayPal, and I get almost all of the funds, all but 2.9% of it, which is crazy. And you'll get to have your name right here under the latest tipper, and it'll stay there until someone else tips over top of you. So that's a great way to support the creators and make sure lots of the funds go to there. Or you can do Patreon. I have a brand new Patreon account, folks. Yeah, this is the one for all things. I have another Patreon account for awesome wood things, but that's my Patreon. I want to come over here. Here's the Patreon. And if you haven't already, consider coming to this and just click this little button right here, the follow button. Ooh, I have a new trick. Is that it? No, hold on. Is that it? No, that's not it. Oh, come on, what is it?
Accessibility options.
Ah! I don't know what that was. Oh, come on. I have a neat little magnifier I wanted to show everyone. Ooh, is my audio really loud? Let me know if that's coming through too loud. Oh, I can't figure it out. Oh well, yeah. Hit that little follow button. That you do not have to pay anything for that. That's completely for free. Interesting. I wonder what that... Oh, yeah. I think there's an app I need to load. I will have to figure that out. That really has me wondering. Oh well, we'll deal with that later. Artfully Yours with Diana. No, not Artfully Yours. She changed her name. Artfully Blind with Diana. Hello, good evening at All Things YouTube with a little wave. Always good to have you here. This is going to be a spicy show. Stick around. I'm going to talk about Patreon and some bad things that are happening over there. Is there a way to change the name of Nightbot? Nightbot. If you're talking the Stream Elements bot, not on Mac. There's a way to do it on Windows, and it's very complicated. But I don't know what Nightbot is, so don't have an answer for you there. Sorry. Ruben Woodcraft is here. Says hi all. Hello, Ruben. Ruben is part of my class. He has signed up for the Be Awesome on YouTube course. So go ahead and check that out. I'm posting premium content there, and it's amazing. You can get it at allthingsyoutube.com. That's my course. And take a peek over here. This is allthingsyoutube.com. Couldn't be simpler. Free preview or buy. Returning students come in here. Here's the buying guide. Everything I use, I have cataloged here with affiliate links. That'll help me out. Documentation, I have everything written down. And here's other ways to get support, and my YouTube, Patreon, Facebook, and you can sign up for the email newsletter. Are you signed up for the email newsletter? If not, get on it. Oop, that's really loud. Get on it. Free newsletter. Why not? Keep up to date with everything that's happening. Don't miss a thing. All right. Let's take a look at a few people who support me on Patreon. Everyone gets free shout-outs if they support me on Patreon. Top patrons, Jerry Brown from PollyWantsACrafter.com, Harneo Media, Portal Woodworks, Osprey Mama, Driveway Workshop, Butch and Bashir's. Thank you for being top supporters. I'll also put your graphic up here if you want to support me on Patreon. You can make me do labor and redo this graphic. I won't mind. $1 patrons are Steve Carmichael. And let me pop this out of the way. Miter Mike's Woodshop, Annabee Workshop, OJ Woodworking Crafts, Javi's Woodshop, Marcel's Workshop, JP Woodwork, The Mad Maker, and Mr. Paul Weber from Love Audio Production. Not plural, production. Paul, thank you for helping me out. He was helping me with my Rodecaster Pro this morning. Appreciate that. Special thanks to Makers Media Network. I am a proud member of Makers Media Network. Find out more at makersmedianetwork.com. Hashtag not sponsored. And yes, Makers Media Network has the prestigious tilted graphic. I worked extra hard on that. Oh my goodness. All right, let's keep moving. We also have what I do on Thursday nights, Brenda G's Designs. That's the Mind Equals Blown show. That show's blowing up, people. It is blowing up. You got to jump on Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern. Woo! And 4 shows in a row, Brenda has given away free stuff. Free stuff, but you got to be in the chat. Click this link, hit the set reminder button, and then come right back, and then join me over on Brenda G's Designs channel on Thursday, and get on that show. Be nuts. Watch the show. It's nuts. It is nuts. Okay. We will get into the news of the week. Remember, I put this banner on here, so if you ever watch a rerun, you can slide the playhead until the little preview of the playhead. They'll get a little thumbnail that'll follow your playhead on the YouTube page. Just look for this green marker, and then you can skip the beginning of the show. I do that not to force you to have extra watch time. I do it for your benefit, so you can skip right to the good stuff. Although I would love if you just watched my stuff from beginning to end. That would be amazing. But of course, I don't expect that. All right. The news of the week. Mid-roll eligibility. Did you hear the YouTube is changing how mid-roll ads are going to work? And I have a video on my channel about mid-roll ads. Not on the live, on the uploads. There it is. Mid-roll ads. I'll go out to my channel. Get to see a bigger version of it. That's not my channel. Jeez Louise. That's my channel. All right. Yeah, there it is. Patreon is in trouble, and where's my... There it is. YouTube will force mid-roll ads on your videos unless you do this. But we'll talk about that. Mid-roll ads. So mid-roll ads is an ad in the middle of your content, and it was eligible on videos above 10 minutes. So if you had 10 minutes or longer video, you could opt in to put this on. Of course, you need to be in the YPP program. That's the YouTube Partner Program, and that's where they share ad revenue with you. You need 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours over the previous year, and you need to apply and get accepted. Then you're in YPP, YouTube Partner Program. So you could turn them on. Now, on the 27th, so 7 days from today, 8 minutes is going to be the new standard. So if it's 8 minutes or over, you can put a mid-roll ad in. One or more mid-roll ads, I think. And here's the thing. YouTube is going to automatically place these ads on your videos if you do nothing. And they're going to pick the spot where they think is a good place for a mid-roll ad, and it's going to happen, and it's if you do nothing. Or you can opt out. If you opt out, then that won't happen to your back catalog. And if you opt out, you can still choose to put mid-roll ads in at any given future video that you've uploaded. Maker238 Deloachus here. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. It's got a laughy cry, a laughy face with laugh tears coming out of it. I like that. Jim Dockrell's here. I opted out of my mid-roll ads. Ads are annoying. Well, I think so too, Jim. I have opted out of mid-roll ads on my Awesome with Things channel. This is the channel where I am monetized or in the YPP program. And I think it's an interruption. I don't want to burden my viewers with that, but it's a completely legitimate thing. If you want to turn on ads, I don't have anything against you. There's many strategies out there, or there's a strategy out there that's adopted by many that says, if YouTube gives you the opportunity to make money, click it on, baby. Turn that sucker on. And that's perfectly fine. But for me, you know, yes, I'd like the ad revenue. I like earning money. I really do. I desperately need it. This lockdown has not been good to the Haas household, especially me. Things have finally started to come back after 14 weeks of... Anyway, I don't want to get into it. But, yeah, if you're doing YouTube right, ad revenue should not be a large percentage of your earnings. You should have other ways to pull in revenue. Merch sales, Patreon, and other crowdfunding, and plenty of other things to make money. You don't have ads on your other channel? The only channel I have ads on is this one. And I do have ads. Yes, I do. I do the skippable pre-ad. I do the bottom third ad. I do the little slider that comes out of the cards, the sponsored cards. Yeah, I do not do the unskippable ads. I don't want to force someone to watch a 30-minute ad, or 30 seconds, excuse me. I don't want to force people to watch a 30-second ad, so I turn that off. Niantic River Woodcrafting with Chris Nealon is here. No ads on my tiny channel, he says. Adam's Exploits is here. Hello, Matt, at All Things YouTube. Hello, Adam. Glad you're on the channel. We're going over the news of the week. We're talking about mid-roll ads. It's changing on the 27th. 8 minutes or longer is a video that you will be eligible to put mid-roll ads on if your channel is monetized. It used to be 10 minutes, and YouTube on your behalf is going to enable mid-roll ads on every 8-minute or longer video in your catalog on the 27th, and they're going to choose the spot where they're going to put it, unless you opt out, which you can do. So that is the news of the week. If there's ever a topic you want me to talk about, please get a hold of me. I'm not hard to get a hold of. That would be awesome. We'll turn off the news of the week banner and we'll move into today's topic. Oh, Patreon. Patreon's a great service. Oh, wait, we got a question here. We've got Adam's Exploit says, I saw that. Do you think that's a good or bad that they automatically do that? I'm sort of indifferent. Most times tech companies have you opt into new features, but occasionally they have you opt out. It's not something uncommon to force a new feature on everyone and have the people opt out if they don't want it. I don't like mid-roll ads for my personal channel, but that's fine. Mr. Mark Lindsay CNC, he's not on the show now. He's not in the chat room. At least I don't think you are. If you are, Mark, say hi. He mentioned that on his longer video, now he'll do videos that are 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes. He even has some 45 minutes. He's a very, his content is very long. He's teaching a complex piece of software, and he needs to cover a lot. So he put a 2-second fade to black right up against a 2-second fade from black back into his video, and then he dropped the mid-roll ad right on that time. So the user experience would be fading to black, and then the ad played, and then when the ad was done, it faded back into his show. I thought that was kind of clever. And he said he didn't have any negative effects from that. Again, people are used to mid-roll ads. I just choose not to do it. Is that Simply Wooden Creations? He says, Matt, I am here. Good to have you on the show, Russ. It's my friend, Mr. Russ Clarity. Are all non-skippable ads 30 seconds long? Good question. I don't know. I doubt it. Yeah, I'll have to look that one up. Eligible on your behalf? Yeah, I gotcha. Maker Deloach says, I like the sound of that. It might make for a good sake. Okay. Oh, hey, Maker Deloach, I invited you to the Makers Media Network Facebook group. If you haven't already, consider applying to be let into that group. I think it's a good resource for certain YouTubers that have woodworking and metalworking channels, which you are. So you might want to consider that. If you're not in there already, I don't think you are, but if you are, that'd be a fun thing for you to do, I think, and a helpful thing. Oh, I filled out my application waiting to hear back. I don't check my email very much. Okay, well, good. I'm glad you got that rolling. Yeah, excellent. All right. So, who wants to talk about Patreon? Oh boy, there is some spicy stuff going on. They're in legal trouble. They are in very bad legal trouble. There's something that you should never do in court or any type of legal proceeding. And there's I don't know what it's called, a doctrine. Like, you need to come to court with clean hands. That's like a legal term. Clean hands. In other words, you can't try and pull a fast one in court, or you're what's the South Park thing? You're gonna have a bad time. Well, they pulled some shenanigans, and it is not looking good. let me give you the long and short of it. So Patreon banned someone. I think his name is Owen Benjamin. I have no idea who this is, but they banned him, and it was a big Patreon account. I mean, he had hundreds of patrons, and one of the things on Patreon's terms of service and just the description of the service is, hey, Patreon is just a place to connect people, and if you're a patron, you're dealing with the creator, and it's a relationship between you and the creator. We're just a service, you know. So in other words, what they were doing is they were saying, okay, Patreon creators, if they promise something to their patrons and don't deliver, you can't sue Patreon. That's what the language was supposed to cover their butts for, but it was kind of used in a different tactic that's working against Patreon. Okay, so that's one thing that's happening. I find this fascinating. First of all, the founder, Jack Conte, he's kind of out there. Now, I'm kind of out there too. I'm the first to say I'm a weird guy. Like I have my mannerisms, and I'm geeky, pop culture. I mean, I'm a little up there on the weird, but he is really weird. Hey, you do it's here. Who's your daddy? Good to have you on the show. I'm talking about Patreon. Yeah, get this. Okay, so Patreon's terms of service always said, we're the middleman. Patrons and creators, you're responsible to each other. Okay, remember that. So here's what happened. They kicked someone off of the service, and the patrons were like, hey, I'm expecting stuff from this creator, and you kicked them off. Now I can't get my stuff. And look at your terms of service. It says we're legally connected, the creator and the patron, and you took that away. So we have a legal claim against Patreon for banning a particular person. And so they're like, okay, now here's what was in Patreon's terms of service. First of all, you can't sue Patreon. If you're on Patreon, you're not allowed to sue them. You have to go to arbitration. And to go to arbitration, you can't go straight there. You first have to talk to Patreon and then wait 30 days and then start the arbitration proceedings. That was all in their Patreon. And, okay, so, all right. You're on Patreon, you use Patreon. I suppose you agree to this. So no jury courtroom. You have to go through arbitration. And but here's the thing. Patreon is a California-based company. And in California, the way arbitration works is the first $250 of the arbitration fees, which the arbitration fees can get up to $10,000. The low end is $2,000. The high end is $10,000. In California, the first $250 it is responsible by the person bringing the action, the customer, and the company is responsible for the rest. These are just fees. This has nothing to do with winning or losing arbitration. This is so if you bring an action against Patreon, they've got to cover these fees. And that doesn't seem like a bad thing, because guess what? Legal work is expensive. You go to court, it's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, So they're figuring, okay, $2,000 to $10,000 for what little arbitration cases will come before us. We can eat that as a company, and we'll probably win on arbitration because we're a good company and we play by the rules, so they thought. Okay, so here's what happened. 100 of this person's patrons filed individual arbitration cases against Patreon. And Patreon is on the hook for these $2,000 to $10,000 individual. So at least $250,000. And the grounds is everyone that was a patron of this person who got kicked off of Patreon is saying, Patreon said I was legally connected with my creator, and now my creator is not able to give me my perks that I've pledged through Patreon and paid through Patreon, and you've got a legal action against me. And okay, so here's what they did. So this, you can't make this stuff up. It gets even worse. All right. So what they do? Okay, the lawyer for these 100 individual people, they all have the same lawyer, and they also said no class action. That was also in their terms of service. You're not allowed to group lawsuits together. In Patreon's terms of service, like, it must be individual cases. Patreon will not tolerate or allow group actions. Well, that seems like a good thing for Patreon, but they explicitly said no group actions. They all have to be individual. So the lawyer said, the lawyer from these 100 people talked to the lead counsel of Patreon, said, we're bringing a class action against you, and we start the clock 30 days. We try and work it out with us, but at the end of 30 days, we're going to bring this action. Okay, then they got into negotiations, and they said, okay, give the person you kicked off of Patreon $3 million and bring him back on the platform, and we'll drop our 100 cases against you. And Patreon said no. So then 5 days before the 30 days was up, Patreon changed their terms of service, saying you're not allowed to sue us, or patrons are not allowed to sue Patreon if we kick off their creator. You can't change the rules in the middle of legal action. So what did Patreon do? Patreon submitted all their papers to the court, and they're like, look, judge, here's our terms of service. It says you're not allowed to sue for, or the patrons are not allowed to sue if Patreon kicks off of a creator. It says that right here in our terms of service. Well, the lead counsel for the 100 cases was like, you know what, judge? They did the switcheroo on that terms of service change. We're bringing this lawsuit under the terms of service that existed by the time that we started this process, and that's coming to court without clean hands. Remember, I said that you can't come to court without clean hands. That's exactly what they did. That's a binding issue. The terms of service is binding at the time of signing up. Well, yeah. And, so that was the name of the game. It was like, you can't sue us, you can't have class actions, and if you are going to bring an arbitration case, you have to talk to us first, and then you've got to wait 30 days. Well, that's exactly what they were doing. And 4 days or 5 days before the 30 days was up, they switched their terms of service. And when they switched their terms of service, they sent emails out to everyone on Patreon, whether it was a creator or a donor. And they said, we're just clarifying our arbitration clause. That was what they said to everyone. They're like, follow the link if you want. It's just clarifying language. And the clarifying language was, the arbitration clause is completely changing. Completely changing is not clarifying. And so that too worked against them. So then Patreon said to the judge, first of all, we want the judge to just do away with this individual arbitration cases, and we don't want it anymore. And that's what they wanted in the beginning. And the judge's like, no, I'm not doing it. I can't believe it. It's crazy. Look at this stuff. So this is an article, and this is from the counsel. He was saying that, let's take a look here. The only way this is going to work for Patreon is if the judge reverses the judge's statement, because they have some preliminary rulings and guidance from the judge. So unless the judge says, oops, I've changed my mind, they are going to be on the hook for hundreds of arbitration fees. And remember,
It's
each arbitration
7:30.
fee is probably between $2,000 and $10,000 each, and they have 100 of these cases. Somehow the cases moved up to 72. I don't fully understand that. Somehow the case is more relevant if the patron lives in California. I don't quite understand that. Oh, Maker Deloach has to go. He says, talk to you later. Excellent. Thanks for stopping by. Drop a like on your way out if you haven't already. That helps the channel. So, oh man, yeah, it is quite the mess. You know, and you know, here's the thing. If they lose the arbitration, if they lose these 100 cases individually, they could be on the hook for more money for losing. But even if they win, even if they go to arbitration and the arbiter says, oh, you're a jilted patron and you're mad because we kicked off your creator, you're not eligible for any money, you lose. Even if that happens, they still have to pay the arbitration fees, which are you don't do that. You know, if you're getting sued, you don't change your terms of service to not be sued. And then you don't tell the judge, oh, you know that thing we mandated? Yeah, we don't want that anymore. We want you to tell the world that's not enforceable anymore. When they mandated it, and they mandated arbitration, and they mandated all arbitration has to be individual. You can't group them. So now what does Patreon want to do? They want it to be heard at a jury trial, and they want a class action lawsuit. Two things they explicitly said they didn't want in their terms of service. Whoever is the lawyer for Patreon can probably never work again. Like, who in their right mind lets this stuff through? It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Portal Woodworks is here. Hi, Portal Woodworks. That's Mr. David Jones. Always good to have you on the channel. Always good to have you on the channel, my friend. Yeah, man, these terms of service, they are crazy. They are crazy. Did you see the one South Park? I don't watch South Park, but the one I watched, and it was the iTunes terms of service. There was something going around the world where it's just a crazy. They put something ridiculous in their terms of Apple did, and the whole point with Stan was like, "Oh yeah, I got the new iTunes update," and they're like, "Well, didn't you read the terms of service?" Who reads the terms of service? I just clicked through. I just clicked agree. And everyone on the playground was like, you always have to read the terms of service. It was like so ridiculous. It was like, but the terms of service is like 400 pages long. It's like, yeah, I know. We've all read every word of the It was so ridiculous. Hey, Love Audio Production is here. He says he's made it. This is, it's midnight in the UK. In merry old England, where Mr. Paul Weber from Love Audio Production is coming from. Thank you again, Paul, for help with my Rodecaster Pro. I have turned off, just to kind of see, I've turned off noise gate, de-esser, and high pass filter, and I only have the compressor and the Aphex processing running. For those watching the show, and if you didn't understand a word I said, just ignore it. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you, and so much fun earlier. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Paul and I had fun today. He helped me out with my Rodecaster Pro. I was on his podcast earlier. He was having so much fun on his, I'm not his podcast, his live stream. He was having so much fun on his live stream. He went over. He was like, man, I've been going a long time. And he had so much fun, he had to stop the show to get a drink because his voice was all scratchy. See, always have a drink on the ready. See? He's kicking the tires when it comes to live streaming. He's been at it just for a short while. But he's kicking butt over there. I think he said he has 78 subscribers over on his channel. Good on you. Yeah, get to 100, and then when you get to 100, get your custom domain name for your YouTube channel page. Like mine is youtube.com/allthingsyoutube. Yeah. So then when you advertise it, you can put the full link out there instead of youtube.com/channel/ and then 50 random characters. Almost to 100. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Do you like the background? Can you hear background music playing? Let me know if you can hear it. It should be. I did some tests earlier. I think that's a good level. Should the background music be louder or should it be quieter? You know, I can hear it and it sounds good. Good. Yes, I can hear it. It's just the right volume. Thank you, you do it. Yeah, background music is good. Fantastic. I did something right. And this is another piece of my audio strategy, because if there's fan noise, because there's computers all around here and I have overhead ceiling fans, mostly quiet, but if there's fan noise, it'll pick up in the microphone. But if there's a little bit of background music, it could mask the fan noise. So not only do I think it's sort of a nice touch, but it helps me solve a minor technical problem. Yes, I hear the background music. It's good. Okay, well, I will record that. That is on the 3rd tick mark. Whatever that tick mark means. Maybe negative 45 dB. I'm still having trouble reading some of this stuff. And yeah. Got the thumbs up. Oh, I got the golden thumbs up from Love Audio Production. Yeah, boy. Oh, yeah. Patreon. Oh my gosh. What a mess. What a mess. Jack Conte, he did a keynote. He had a PatreCon. Like the, Comic Con, he had PatreCon, and he did the keynote, and like I said, he's a weird guy, but he did all of his failures, and he went through all of his failures his entire life, and it was cringe. It was so much cringe. I'm like, oh my Jack, what the heck? Yeah, I missed the Patreon news. Oh yeah, it's nuts. Here, I'll give you the long and short of it. That's the news. Yeah, Patreon kicked off a creator, and the creator's backers sued Patreon because Patreon severed the legal relationship that the patrons had with the creator, and they're bringing forward 100 individual cases against Patreon. Patreon's trying to undo it, and the judge isn't having any of it. They're going to be on the hook for well over $1 million. And Patreon is in financial trouble to begin with. They changed their pay structure because they couldn't make it a viable company. And now they're doing loans. Do you know you can get a small business loan through Patreon? They're trying everything just to pull in money. I mean, I hope, I have patrons. I love my patrons. I hope it persists. But, if it's not a very well-run company, things don't survive, and it's not very well run. So we'll see. We'll see if it can survive. Hopefully they get additional corporate, what do they call it, venture funding. Hopefully more of that comes through, because they're not profitable. And YouTube just wrote the same thing into their service. YouTube membership, it's the same thing as Patreon. Like, why have two things? I got it was a decent idea at the time, but things like repeatable payments, because that's their claim to fame, is, you ask for a donation and then every month it happens automatically, and that's kind of a good business model. But PayPal has had repeating payments forever. There's other ways to do it, but I don't know. We'll see if they survive, and I hope they do, because it's good to have. I'm thankful it's around. I'm not rooting for it to go away, And Jack Conte's, he's in a band called Pamplemousse. Great band. I mean, it's some fun videos. Yeah, go on YouTube and search for Pamplemousse, and that is, I think, a French word for grapefruit. I don't know, but Jack is a piano player, and I play the piano, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Do you know why Jack made Patreon? Yes, I do. He got so sick of making video. He's a videographer, like he's a YouTuber essentially, and he would pour his heart and soul into these YouTube videos. It's crazy. Like it took 3 months to make a stop animation video. No one's interested. He did a music video where 2 robots rise up, and he rises up in the middle playing a guitar on the Millennium Falcon. He built this whole thing. He spent $100,000, went in debt, maxed out all his credit cards. Took him 4 months to put that together, put that out in the world. No one cared. So he invented Patreon because he wanted a way for people to pay him per video. He's like, if I could have, 10,000 people give me $1 for every video I publish, then I could sustain myself. That's why he made Patreon. His music is dope. Yeah. Oh, grapefruit in French. Okay. Cool. Grapefruit. What did I say? Cantaloupe? Grapefruit? Anyway, yeah. So in any event, that's why I think he made it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Studio Geek 32. Sammy. He goes by Sammy. Studio Geek 32. So yeah. So I love that. And you know what? It's kind of weird because there's 2 main members in Pamplemousse, Jack and his wife. And his wife did a Kickstarter for something without Jack, $100,000. It's like, so, maybe the talent is more towards his better half, I guess. I don't know. I guess it's subjective. That's why I watch him. Yeah. Okay, good. Anyway, I still encourage patrons. Hey, if you want to support me on Patreon, go for it. Can you answer my question? Scroll up, please. Sure. Is there a rival to Patreon which offers similar service, all things YouTube? Why, yes, there is. I shall show you. If you go to my Awesome Wood Things website, Subscribestar. Subscribestar is a Patreon knockoff. And I have a Subscribestar. I have 0 subscribers, but it's here. So Subscribestar.com is a competing service similar to Patreon. And YouTube's own membership is similar to Patreon. And I think there's a few others as well. I don't know what they are. There's a lot of interesting tech happening. Tech meaning disruptive tech or new, I forget what they call it, but there's disruptive, yeah, maybe. There's Minds.com is one, and there's even another play at YouTube. Someone's trying to make another YouTube, and there's a couple of those, but one has legs. One really does, because I did that. Who was it? That Lyra. D-Live was one. That's not going to go anywhere. And I already side post all of my stuff to, what's the other one? There's another, I forget. There's another YouTube competitor, and every time I upload a video to Awesome Wood Things, it automatically uploads to this other one. I forget what it's called. Okay, another question. What's Stream Elements used for at All Things YouTube? Good question. Stream Elements gives me overlays like this So that's a Stream Elements feature. Stream Elements does the bot. So if you put an exclamation mark and type the name of a food emoji, the bot will respond to you. That, like, it's called an autoresponder. That is a feature they do. And Stream Elements is 100% free. You can't even pay them if you wanted to. They don't even have a tier of service that you can pay for. It's 100% free. And what else do? They do, well, let me just show you. Stream Elements. Let me see if I can remember how I log in here. Oh boy, how do I log in? Forget how I log in. I'm probably not logging in correctly. Am I? I'll share my screen in a second. Oh, that's not right. Darn it. Let me get my password. Stream Elements. Ooh. Not good. Let's see if I can figure out how to log in here. How do I log in? Maybe I logged in through Facebook. Forget my password. That's not it. Doggone it. Oh, I can't log into Stream Elements right now, but they do these overlays, and they do the bot, and they do tipping. So you can tip me through their own tip portal, I guess is what you call it. Here, let me put that in the chat. And then you can go, whoops. There, this is my tip page. And you can put in any dollar amount you want, put in your name, click the tip, and then it'll take you to a payment screen, and you dump in your credit card or PayPal, and you're off to the races. 100% free. And then since this is a Stream Elements service down here, this latest tipper, it's tied in with that. So overlays, tipping, and chat bots is what they do. And it's pretty cool. I dig it. It doesn't cost anything. I thought you couldn't use Stream Elements with Ecamm. False. You can use Stream Elements with Ecamm. Are you doing Lita a second time, says Studio Geek 32. Yes, I am. I'm already signed up. Yeah, I was a guest on Live Streaming Pros who host the Lita Challenge. Lita is an acronym for Live Every Day in August. I did it in April because both August and April have the first character A, Lida, L-E-D-A. And it's a fun challenge where you can get instruction, get guidance, and you need to go live every day into a Facebook group. That's a private Facebook group only with other Lita members, and then the teacher, Lauria Petrucci, and she tells you what to go live about. Like day one is just introduce yourself. Go live, just introduce yourself. That's all. And then she'll give you more and more guidance as you go. And by the end of the 30 days, you will have went live for 30 days in a row. And what better way to improve anything than repetition? And it's completely free to do, and it's fun. So I watch their stream like every day. Yeah, I always see you on there. Yeah, it's good. It's good. They're good. They're good folks over there. I like them a lot. You know, they're trying to do good. They're trying to help people. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help people make better videos and better live streams on YouTube because I love YouTube. I want YouTube to crush broadcast television. I don't like broadcast television. I think there's a lot of problems with broadcast television. Power to the people, power to the creators. You know, it's possible. You can make something on YouTube, make something of yourself. And I think that's crazy. You know, I grew up where if you wanted to make video, you had to go to a local television station and beg and plead and probably bribe to get airtime. It was ridiculous. Same thing with publishing. You know, if you wanted to publish anything, you had to get a deal done where someone can fund the manufacturing of your book. Oh, now you can make a digital book on your laptop through a browser. And so I love that there's no barrier to reach an audience. Now, you got to be good, you have to be entertaining, you have to teach something or be entertaining or both, and you need to get, but all barriers except for that have been removed. I love the time we live in. I love it. I love being able to upload something, make a piece of content, and reach as many people who want to see it. It's a fascinating time we live in. Do you mean Lita is to go live on YouTube, right? At All Things YouTube. Lita is to perfect your on-screen presence, and you go live into a Facebook group. But the whole point is you're teaching yourself how to be better in front of the camera, and that can apply to YouTube or Twitch or Facebook or wherever else wherever else you're going live. So Lita is a Facebook group. It's actually pretty clever. They make a Facebook group. They make every member an admin of the Facebook group, and then you can stream directly into it very easily. Like if you're not an admin of a Facebook group, it takes some technical know-how to stream inside of a Facebook group that you're not an admin, but they make it easy. So everyone's an admin of the Facebook group. It's kind of neat. And only people who are signed up to take the challenge are invited to it. Yeah, it's Live Streaming Pros / Lita. Here, I'll show you. I'll drop it in the chat too. So it's livestreamingpros.com /LEDA. So what you'll do is you put in your name and your email address and click the button, and you're off to the races. And it's free to do. And about the only thing they'll do, I think, is like around day 25, they said, hey, we have a course. If you're interested in the course, go ahead and take the course. And they said, hey, we do consulting. If you're interested in consulting, do the consulting. And that was it. So there's no sales pitch beyond that. There's no, it's literally just to make you better on camera. I highly recommend it. So yeah, if you're interested, click that link and fill it out. But you should watch a stream first. Artfully with brand. Yeah, you can. Livestreamingpros.com. If you go on YouTube and type in Live Streaming Pros, you'll find the channel. This is one of the hosts. Her name's Lauria Petrucci. I actually followed her back in the Revision 3 days with Dignation and other. She wasn't on Revision 3, but she had a podcast. She had a video podcast before YouTube was YouTube. I was a fan of hers, and she teamed up with one of her ex-boyfriends, David Foster. He's the tech guy, so he knows all about live streaming tech. Well, she does too, but it's David Foster and Lauria Petrucci. They own this business together called Live Streaming Pros, and they're great. I don't know. I've learned a lot from them. They are typically every weekday at 1 p.m. Yep. And while we're talking about learning how to be getting your skills, I have a Be Awesome on YouTube course. Go to allthingsyoutube.com and sign up. I have 32 videos that are for free, and I'm just starting to post. Did you see Artful Years with Diana? I think she's in the class too. The premium videos. I'm starting to put premium videos out there, baby. And the premium videos are all about marketing and getting more eyeballs on your stuff. So it's coming. It's coming. This is the premium, only on the course, only on, if you here, this is the only way. I'm not posting these videos to YouTube's, and it's $15 for all of them. It's 15 one-time payment of $15 gets you the premium videos. Go check that out if they broke up. Yeah, they're former boyfriend and girlfriend. That's fine. I don't care about that. Don the trainer is here. I'm in Lita. Pumped. Excellent. I'll see you in there, my friend. Yeah. Look at that. He's got a drum kit. Awesome. I just started my entry into the world of instruments. I have a piano back there. I think you can see that. So I've been playing piano for a year and 3 months. Hey, whatever. Did you miss OBS? Open broadcasting software? I don't know if that's a question for me or not. But yeah. Okay. If there's other questions, I'll take questions. Otherwise, I think I'll wrap it up. Again, I stream on Mondays. My next show is Monday the 27th. You can click this link and click the set reminder button, and then you'll be ready to go at 7 p.m. Eastern on July 27th. That's the next show. And, if you haven't already, do consider this. This is my email newsletter. Yeah, give me your first name and your email address, and I'll keep you updated on everything I'm doing. This is Adam's Exploits. What software do you use for your live stream? I use Ecamm Live. This is a Mac-only piece of software. Ecamm Live. I think it's $125 a year for what I pay for it. Ecamm Live. And then if you're on PC, vMix is something to consider. This is more expensive, but those two are what's typically recommended. You could also go on OBS Studio. This one's free. Yeah, obsproject.com. Yeah, this one's free. Now, OBS is a little bit higher learning curve, and it has some minor disadvantages. I would say, I think the learning curve is a little bit higher on that software. Adam's vMix will cost me about $1,200 for a lifetime purchase. Ouch. It's a one-time payment for vMix. Okay, fair enough. Mark Lindsay CNC is here. I'm here. Start over. Oh, okay. Well, we'll start over. Get the countdown going here. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, Mark. I use Streamlabs OBS. It's free too, and it has a better interface. Well, better is subjective. vMix for $300. Yeah, $300 is a comfortable tier, which 99% of people can live with. They do have higher, more expensive tiers, but I like Max. I can't get away from Max. There are other options other than the $1,200 version. Yeah. So that's the answer. Oh, he says OBS is way too difficult for me to learn. That is not an uncommon statement. Many people share that same view. They share that same view. Now, but in fairness, OBS has a better interface. So here's someone saying it has a better interface, and here's someone saying it's too hard to learn. Well, you know what? If better means you have every option with tons of radio buttons and tons of drop-down menus and tons of dialogues upon dialogues and nested tree, but you have everything, you can do everything. If that could be good or bad. Complexity is a benefit or a detractor depending on who you're talking about. And it is kind of complex. There is crap all over the place on OBS Studio, where it's tidied up a little bit better on Ecamm, and vMix does have a lot of complexity too, but whatever. If you can use OBS and it's free, that's great. Yeah, and my first streams, I streamed for about 9-10 months, and I used OBS Studio, and it was, I figured it out. It was kind of a fight. I got through the learning curve, and I got to do a lot. But you know what OBS Studio can't do? This. It can't pop an individual comment up on the screen. It just can't do it. And I wanted that because that is a good way to run a stream. I think it's engaging for the audience to see one single comment. Sometimes now OBS Studio can have all the comments display. Every single one will trickle up on your screen. But then if someone puts something snarky in there that you don't want to you don't want to share every comment all the time. I want to be selective. So the reason I got vMix was for this reason alone. What I meant was Streamlabs OBS has a better interface than OBS Studio. Oh, gotcha. Oh, well, Adam, there's a fourth one. Streamlabs OBS. I sometimes lump in Streamlabs OBS with OBS Studio. It sounds the same. They're two very separate products, completely different. Well, they're both streaming software, but they're completely different companies. And I think if you use StreamYard and vMix together, okay, StreamYard is a web-based version of this software. OBS Studio is open source, and it looks it to me. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, it's open source. You know what else is open source? The video editor Blender. Oh, man. You want to see something crazy? Download the video. Well, it's also a 3D modeling app, and a video editor, and a 3D modeling animation. It's all in one, and it's open source. It is scary hard, but if you want to tweak every setting, it's crazy. I tried Slobs, but that was complicated also. Yeah, well, look, video editing and video switching, because I think this, Ecamm, vMix, OBS Studio, Streamlabs, it's their switching software. It's like kind of the umbrella term because, a television studio switched cameras. Camera 4, camera 1, camera 3, yeah. Wow, today went very fast. Yeah. I don't like Blender. I didn't like Blender. A lot of people don't like Blender. Captain Disillusion. If you do the search for Captain Disillusion on YouTube, he is all in on Blender. He is a Blender expert, man. And to Blender's credit, there is nothing it can't do. It can do everything that you want. It's just very complicated. It's so complicated. Like iMovie and Final Cut Pro and a lot of the other video editors, you can throw all kinds of video clips in it and it'll just work. And one video clip could be 29.9 frames per second. Another video clip could be 30 frames a second. Another video clip could be 25 frames a second. You put this in your timeline, it'll all just work. Not on Blender. Not on Blender. You've got to fight to make sure everything is the exact same frames per second, or it'll freak out on you. It's just the way it is. I mean, if you want to deal with the minutia, and you want every feature under the sun, Blender's the way to go, but it's the hardest learning curve you'll ever. Matt, have you ever used a document camera? I'm thinking of getting one eventually as a second camera for recording how-to videos. What's a document camera? How is a document camera different than cameras that I would think of, like a normal camera. If you get a second screen, you could use vMix and zoom, and then you can do the panel. I'm not sure what document camera is. I mean, I have a 9-year-old DSLR. I have a C920 webcam, C930 webcam. I have a whole basket full of old point and shoots. And yeah, I don't know what you mean, Adam's exploits. But yeah, clarify that and I can get you an answer another time. I think I'm going to wrap things up here. Supposedly it shows more details and has a built-in stand. Let me do a Google search. Amazon bestsellers, best document cameras. I own one of these. If this is what you're talking about, I own one and it is garbage. Yeah. I think I threw it out. Like I literally put it in the garbage because I'm like, I don't see how anyone would want that. Amazon has them. Oh, they are pretty cool. Well, yeah. These look like the one I got was used at a public school, and I bought it at an auction, and it was a modern day equivalent of the projector slide. So you would put like a piece of paper on the table, and it would project the paper up on the screen. I had one, but it was, I think it was 640 resolution or maybe 720 resolution. It was very low resolution. And I didn't have a use for it. I tried to use it for some things, but you know, I would just take my camera and my cell phone and do a little top-down view. Some have 4-star reviews. And frankly, the one I bought was probably an El Cheapo, and it was probably 6 years old when I bought it. So I'm sure they've come a long way. It's the one I had wasn't any good. Even if you can get a camcorder, that would be better than that. It says, yeah. Camcorders you have to watch out for. Any video camera, the sensor's microscopically small. Even those big ones you put on your shoulder, it's like the sensor is so freaking tiny. They hide that spec. I'm like, come on. If you get a DSLR, you get a half size or full size sensor on that sucker. Yeah, you'd be nuts to have a video cam, like a camcorder. No. It's not like an overhead projector. You can put 3D objects on a table and it'll keep the whole thing in focus. Oh, neat. Panasonic Camcorder is what I use at Studio Gate. Yeah. The camcorders, they have the lenses, and the lenses are, you can't change them, or if you can, that's very minimal. The way to rock it now is to buy a DSLR or mirrorless camera, a photography camera that can also do video. That's the modern way of doing it. So I think camcorders are gonna go the way of the dodo bird, because House. You know the TV show House, the doctor. They used at the time, it was the Canon 5D Mark IIs. They shot a Hollywood television show using a DSLR camera. I think it was just one episode, but they did. And it looked 10 times better than their normal stuff, because you could put in all the high-end lenses and get the bokeh background. You know, it's cool. I paid $199 for it and can use my shotgun mic with it. Cool. Great conversation, Matt and chat. I appreciate your input. Hey, my pleasure. On my bucket list is the A5100 or the A6100. Those are killer cameras from Sony. And a Sigma lens. Yeah. I have a ethical problem with the Sony Corporation, so I'm trying to stay away. But I'll tell you what, that new Sony point and shoot, that the ZV-1, oh baby, that is a beast of a camera. Now the lens is fixed, you can't take the lens off, but it's like a low, it's like a 1.8 lens. I mean, it's like a good lens, and it is a beast of a camera. Now Canon's Canon's nipping at their feet because, or whatever. Canon's coming on strong. Canon is now all in on streaming, and I'm waiting to see what hits the market around Christmas time for Canon. It's going to be amazing. I got the Sigma for my Canon M50. Excellent, excellent. That's a camera that can almost do streaming well. It just misses the mark a little bit, but. Yeah, 16 millimeter, 1.4 Sigma. Yep, that's $400. That's a $400 lens, and they say, man, it is worth every penny. And you know, no disrespect to people who use Sony. They make great stuff. I just I can't forgive them for their discretion 15 years ago. I can't forgive them. I switched from Canon to Sony. No. I switched all into Canon. All right, well, we'll leave it here. Thank you, everyone. I'm back next week. Every week, every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, midnight UK, 4 p.m. on the West Coast. There's the link. Hit me up. And we'll see you next time. Hope my audio sounded good. Hope you liked the background track. And keep an eye on my channels, man. I'm pumping out the videos everywhere. All things YouTube. And got one coming out on here soon, too. If you want to watch me make things out of wood. All right. Take care, everyone. Good night. Stay awesome. Bye.